to see come to the fore at such an important time of the season. See if he actually has been sleeping on this all season, maybe letting it build in his team building lab. And his team overall is just so interesting.
Yeah, Klefki is one of those Pokemon. It's very much a supportive Pokemon. Gets that prankster ability, so any kind of shenanigans that Sebastian wants to run on Klefki, he can, and make sure that they get off as whenever he needs them, basically.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to be such an interesting matchup. There's also the Muck, the Buzzwole. You just can't ignore half of this team.
Yeah, exactly. So, gonna have to see how Yuri is going to be able to adapt to this. Some rogue Pokemon that Yuri probably has not played against much, if ever. I can't imagine. How many times would you think that Yuri's played against a Klefki? Maybe a few times on Battle Spot?
I'd say 2 or 3. Yeah, you could probably count
over
it on
under
one
at
hand.
3.
Yeah, that's the over-under I'm giving you. It's not much more than that. In all the season, though, I don't think there's been any Klefkis in Top Cut, so it's not a Pokemon many people look at.
All right, well, we are out on the field for round 4, and Klefki making its world debut here this year. Klefki and Tapu Koko are the choice for Sebastian, while Yuri is going to lead with the Tapu Koko and Gigalith. So Yuri just trying to make sure that he gets the weather up in case Sebastian was going for that rain mode. If he does have rain in the back, he can still switch in and get rid of the sand and make sure that rain is up. But otherwise, really interesting matchup. Not as much offensive pressure from Sebastian's side, though.
No, but there is something to be said about Klefki. Way back when it was introduced in the 2014 format, well known for setting up things to help its partner out. And Tapu Koko, as a usually offensive focal point for many teams, would benefit from some of this. So be curious to see exactly what it does. And if it has an offensive move, would be either a Steel or Fairy type move, which I think would be very good against this Gigalith in particular.
All right, well, Sebastian's just opting to protect his Tapu Koko here this turn 1. Klefki does go for a light screen, so we'll cut down on the special attack damage coming from Yuri's side. Tapu Koko just going for its own Thunderbolt onto Klefki with that light screen, dealing about 50% health through the Life Orb. Rock Slide from Gigalith, not going to connect with the Tapu Koko and going to deal a little bit of damage to Klefki. Of course, it does resist it. We'll put it in range for another Thunderbolt from that Life Orb Tapu Koko on Yuri's side. But I have to feel like if Sebastian has chosen Klefki, it looks like he just wants to get a screen up, and that's probably what Klefki's going to do.
Yeah, it's very rare to see these kind of setup Pokemon. I know in other formats, other ways that the game is played, that they call it the screens Pokemon because it brings both light screen and reflect. Interesting to see Sebastian select light screen as the first one.
Yeah. Really
fearing the Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko, and he has to get as much value out of it as possible.
Yeah.
Whatever item is on Klefki could be very important here.
All right, well, Gigalith going to protect this turn from Yuri's side. May want to try and start potentially stalling out the screens, but the metal sound actually is going to be Sebastian's choice here, just trying to get as much damage out from Tapu Koko as possible by weakening the opposing Tapu Koko. Avoids, unfortunately, for Sebastian, so this Dazzling Gleam is not going to be as powerful as he wants. Wow, if that metal sound had hit...
Yeah, and this looks like very similar to a team that actually picked up some play in an earlier regional championship that involved Whimsicott and Tapu Koko.
Yeah.
Whimsicott was using fake tears to get the same effect. But Klefki, I think, bringing a little bit more than Whimsicott with the potential to set up the screens, to help out its opponent. So useful as he plays through this game. The miss on Metal Sound, though, very unfortunate. Would have been a knockout and an early Pokemon advantage for Sebastian. But there is now something that Alessio knows about this. He has that information and can maybe start switching around after that's in play, or pick something that he wants to sacrifice and just let it go down to this Metal Sound and Dazzling Gleam or Thunderbolt combination.
Yeah, Sebastian's going to have to adjust a little bit by not picking up that KO, but it looks like Alessio Yuri is going to be the one who makes the first adjustment, switches Gigalith out for Kartana, while Klefki is going to set up a Reflect, so Sebastian is behind double screens. It's like it used Aurora Veil.
It really did. It just took an extra turn to do so. We'll be helping out now that Kartana has come to the fore.
Tapu Koko just barely hanging on from that Thunderbolt from Alessio's Tapu Koko, thanks to that light screen. Probably hanging on 1 or 2 hit points there. Will pick up a KO with that Volt Switch. but will faint to the Life Orb, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, a trade of Tapu Koko there. But Reflect coming into play because, it set it up is going to be helpful now. This Kartana's in play. I really enjoy seeing that. Now, Gigalith's in there as well.
A lot of value on that Reflect.
We've got the full duration of Reflect to get through. While Light Screen will be ending soon enough, this is maybe something that's going to be really important. Interesting to see Golduck right now, though.
Yeah, we have not seen Politoed just yet from Sebastian. Bringing that Golduck might be a sign that there is the Rain option in the back, or Sebastian may just want Golduck to be able to get as much damage off as possible here.
There could be a really nasty switch in coming in that really just boosts the damage of Golduck immediately. Get that Klefki out of there, it's set everything up that it needs to do. Bring in your Politoed immediately, and then just immediately go for something like a Hydro Vortex if that's what it's carrying. Deal all of the damage you can as quickly as possible, and then Gigalith is either taken out or forced to switch out. There's so few options on how you can play this one. And I think Sebastian has the option to make a very offensive play, and Alessio Yuri is going to have to play very, very defensively indeed.
Yeah, well, it's going to be the switch in for Politoed. Sebastian keeping that in the back to make sure that when he needed Rain, Rain was up. Going to wash away the Sandstorm, set the Rain here, boosting that Golduck's water-type attacks and also its speed. Alessio realizing that he needs to protect that Gigalith to switch back in to end this Rain. With that Golduck out on the field, switches in for Tapu Fini, which is probably going to be happy to be in the rain as well here. Golduck just protecting itself this turn, and Substitute coming out from that Kartana is a really big play there for Yuri.
Yeah, I really enjoy seeing Yuri set up the Substitute there. Because it buys him a little more time, means if there is something strange coming out from Sebastian's side of the field, he's not going to be affected by it so much. It would have been nice to see him go after the Politoed, but I think Alessio Yuri knows, of course, that he isn't going to be able to get those knockouts while Reflect is in play. Unless Leaf Blade scores a critical hit, which it's known to do, it would be a little bit difficult. Preserving that Gigalith, though, very, very smart. It's this turn that Golduck can start benefiting from Swift Swim. So he just needs to maybe get Gigalith in at a safe time. He could also just leave his Tapu Fini in to buy some time and try and work a knockout in there. So when he brings in the Gigalith, if he brings it in, then he's going to be in a good position. No big attacks coming from Golduck, though. Yeah,
Golduck has the Rain, but no attacks. Actually, it's Tapu Fini who is going to be making use of this Rain, using the Hydro Pump from Tapu Fini, connects with Klefki, picks up that KO. Kartana's Leaf Blade through a Reflect here onto Politoed, deals a lot of damage. Without that Reflect, that's a one-hit KO. Politoed just firing back with a Scald, just a simple Scald onto Kartana, trying to break that Substitute so Golduck can come back in and get a KO with a Hydro Vortex or some other powerful attack here. Light Screen finally wearing off, which didn't really help Klefki that much against that Hydro Pump.
No, not at all. Didn't manage to take that Hydro Pump. And now that Sebastian's down to his last two, the game really is in Yuri's hands. He's able to maybe make a switch to get his Gigalith into play, completely remove the Rain from the situation, and obviously he doesn't want to take a Hydro Vortex on the way in. That's something that's really important to see if he can keep himself safe from that. But in general, I think he's in a fairly safe position. I'd argue that Kartana would be the one he needs to switch at this point, purely because Kartana would be able to start taking knockouts once both of these Pokemon have had the Rain taken away from them. There's going to be limited damage coming out, so Kartana is the one he goes for.
Yep, Kartana switches out for Gigalith, wash away the Rain, bring up the Sandstorm once again. Sebastian has no way of resetting that Rain. It is going to be the Hydro Vortex coming out from that Golduck. Just going to try and get a lot of damage off onto one of Yuri's Pokemon. Of course, Gigalith not doing anything else in this game aside from changing the weather, so
and that's all it needs
happy
to do.
To tank this.
Yeah, that's all it really needs to do is change the weather, reduce the damage, and it's not even going towards Gigalith, which means it could be sticking around for a little bit longer. As Tapu Fini is pretty happy to take that.
Either one of these Pokemon happy to take that Hydro Vortex. Tapu Fini just going for more damage back onto that Politoed. Not going to pick up as much damage. Activates the Berry here from Politoed, so going to heal back a little bit. But really, all of the... It's all on Yuri right now. He has that Kartana in the back. The Scald's going to connect to Gigalith, deal a little bit of damage, but really just relying on Kartana. Every little bit of damage that Yuri gets on Sebastian's Pokemon right now is bonus.
Yeah, he just needs to set himself up for
Kartana
to tidy up the game. And, of course, stall out Reflect, as you say very accurately. Once that Reflect's gone, a Leaf Blade is going to be able to start taking knockouts immediately. If you could bring it down to a 1 Pokemon remaining situation from Sebastian, then that would be perfect. His Kartana, without the benefit of Swift Swim, without Speed Golduck, without Speed Politoed, and he'd probably feel pretty good about himself. He knows it's not got a Choice Scarf, he just saw the Margot Berry activate. But both these Pokemon just staying in, trying to deal a little bit of damage, and also Sandstream is going to help out with that chip damage.
Exactly. More Hydro Pumps coming out from that Tapu Fini, the fastest Pokemon on the field here. Golduck, though, will finally pick up the KO onto Gigalith. Gigalith going down on Yuri's side. Politoed with the Scald onto the Tapu Fini will just deal a little bit more damage as well. And with that Sandstorm, start chipping down Tapu Fini, but right now it's all about that Kartana, and it's all about making sure that that Leaf Blade gets off full damage.
And it hits the right targets every time. That's so, so important.
There goes Reflect.
Yeah, Reflect down this is the perfect turn to bring Kartana in. I think there may be something to be said for potentially keeping Gigalith around, but this is still Yuri in the driving seat. The Tapu Fini has been moving very, very quickly before everything else in the field, and really consistently putting out damage. That's something I'm very interested in. All he has to do now is make sure the Kartana is targeting the right Pokemon every single time. If, say, he went for a Leaf Blade on Golduck, Golduck protected, and Politoed was able to retaliate with a Scald, could be a little bit of a problem there. But Tapu Fini seems to be a good answer here, and Kartana's just going to play it safe to try and bait out a potential Protect.
Ooh, well, Golduck also going to protect alongside the Kartana, so both Kartana and Golduck protecting. Tapu Fini's Hydro Pump connecting again with the Politoed, consistently dealing a lot of damage to that Pokemon. Politoed actually setting a Perish Song here.
Ooh. That's
setting up an alternative potential win condition here. I don't know that Sebastian's going to be able to wait the 3 turns to get the Perish Song out.
No, after he got caught protecting his Golduck last time, I think very interesting that he did that. On the turn, he was also protecting. So all of the Perish counts falling to 3 here. The one thing to be said for this situation, though, is if Sebastian can buy these turns, he's going to need to hit many protects on Golduck, because the Politoed will fall to the Sandstorm unless it ends this turn. That's something they need to be counting on. It isn't going to end this turn. There's one more. So Politoed's going to go down. But if he can get there, which he doesn't even try to do, he would have been able to actually win, because the Perish Song would have taken out Tapu Fini and Kartana first.
All right, well, Sebastian revealing that Perish Song at the final turn of that game, forfeiting the match to Yuri, who takes a 1-0 lead here in this round 4 Swiss match here. Really interesting matchup there. We talked a little bit about how Yuri's team was a little bit more standard, but showing off some cool tricks on some Pokemon that are very familiar.
Yeah, that's something that I was really interested to see, and we talked about a little bit before how well versed he was in this team, how well he knew his way around it. And some of the switches in there I thought were absolutely fantastic. The time he got Gigalith in, the way he answered it, I think the point where he switched it in instead of Kartana, where it looked like Tapu Fini would have been a better switch out, because Tapu Fini wasn't dealing much damage, really changed the game, because then that Hydro Vortex went on to Tapu Fini, didn't get any value out of it.
Easily soaked up that damage.
It really, really did, and that's something that is important. If you can nullify that damage coming out from the Hydro Vortex on Golduck, that's so essential to winning these games. Yuri locking in his team a little bit before Sebastian in this time. And I think there's a couple of adaptations that Sebastian can look at. The Buzzwole to deal with Gigalith and Kartana would be very, very nice indeed. The Muck to try and deal with the Tapu Fini. The Klefki was good, but it didn't do quite enough with those screens.
It wasn't quite good enough, and this is why Aurora Veil is so powerful. If you get both of them up at the same time, there was a lot of time out there where Klefki was trying to set up and not doing anything else, which really dropped Sebastian's offensive pressure.
The damage output was low, and he was still taking a significant amount of damage from Yuri's selection, so I think that may be something he needs to be looking at overall. And those adaptations coming right through in this game too.
You called it, Adam. It is the Buzzwole and Muck on Sebastian's side up against the Tapu Fini and the Tapu Koko here. And as if there were any doubt, Tapu Fini's Misty Surge going first, revealing Yuri's Choice Scarf on that Pokemon.
Yeah, that's some really good information for Sebastian to take away from this, because without the Swift Swim in play, the Golduck and Tapu Fini kind of match up very interestingly, but that's no information he's got 100% confirmed for him. I like that he bought Muck, and I really do enjoy that he bought Buzzwole, both of them at the same time, though, this seems a little bit difficult. I'd have actually liked to see Klefki in the lead alongside the Muck, because the Muck would deal with both these Tapu Pokemon on the field, and Klefki could have kept it around, I think, with the assistance of the light screen. Would have been the absolute play against these two special attacking Pokemon. So there's going to be an interesting combination from Yuri available here. And you just have to wonder if he's able to execute it as quickly as he needs to. There's some very curious combinations that I know a Scarf Tapu Fini is able to pull off.
All right, well, the Politoed switch for Buzzwole. So Sebastian is going to set the rain again, power up the opposing Tapu Fini's water type attacks. Tapu Fini going for the Soak.
Making it a water type. I think you know what's coming, Evan.
Oh no, the Thunderbolt. I've waited so long to see this actually work.
It's pulled off.
One-hit KO, the Soak combos.
Day 2 of the World Championships, and Scarf Soak Tapu Fini taking away the biggest threat to these two Pokemon on the field.
That sludge just got washed away off the field.
No chance for poison jabs, no chance to start knocking these out. And now you've got a Tapu Koko facing off against two water types. What? Well, 3 if you include the Muck after the Soak.
Or the Buzzwole in the back.
Well, yeah, I think what we can see here from Yuri, he's really in the driving seat right now. He wants to save this combination for Buzzwole, and now he has the option to bring in Gigalith to really deal with this rain combination.
Yeah.
I love how big an advantage he got in turn 1.
Yuri did get a really big advantage there, but lost a lot of momentum as he is now forced to switch out that Tapu Fini. Soak's not going to do anything against 2 other water-type Pokemon. Switches out to Gigalith, will be able to reset the rain here, but Tapu Koko may be a little bit vulnerable here to a Hydro Vortex from that Golduck. Sebastian will switch out Politoed to protect the rain here, but Protect is going to be the choice from Tapu Koko as well to make sure that this the weather is not going to be in Sebastian's favor, and neither will the damage output as this Hydro Vortex has to go through a Protect.
Sebastian looked a little bit disappointed with his selection of target here. Of course, doing damage regardless, but no rain to boost it. He made the right choice to save rain for later. But it does head towards Gigalith, so probably not the worst outcome for him there, especially because his Politoed left the field.
KO.
No, that's really important.
Sebastian will have control of the weather the entire game now.
That's something that I think he really needs. But to do so, he's actually sacrificed his Politoed. And with that, you've got those plays that he made in Game 1 that I think Sebastian kind of gave up there, and Yuri may be able to read into. In the case of what he did in Game 1, he protected Golduck while Politoed came back in. And that's a switch you might want to make while a Tapu Koko remains on the field here for Yuri.
All right, and Kartana, the final Pokemon we're going to see over here on Yuri's side. Of course, we saw how much trouble Kartana gave Sebastian in that first game. And of course, we also know that you can't just sort of protect and like switch and dance around the Kartana, as it will just take a free substitute on you.
Yeah, that's something that may force Sebastian's hand a little bit to actually go on the offensive with something like the Buzzwole. We know Buzzwole doesn't have the best special defense though, and a Tapu Koko in electric terrain is probably something you might want to look at as an answer to it. The Kartana, of course, with the substitute potential, might force the Golduck not to protect, and that's something Yuri will be able to capitalize on if he decides to go for it. What comes out of this Kartana, I think, is so important. And while Sebastian wants to get that rain back in play as soon as possible, Kartana and Tapu Koko are not the Pokemon you want to do it against.
No protects at all. Golduck, no protect, just going to take that Thunderbolt from the Tapu Koko. Easy knockout there. No switches, no protecting, just offense. Kartana goes for the substitute here. Will at least protect itself a little bit from this Buzzwole, showing the Bulldoze, actually. So Tapu Koko taking a lot of damage there, will drop its speed. The substitute, of course, taking the damage for Kartana, and with that substitute not getting the speed drop as well.
Yeah, that's really, really important here. And I do enjoy that he actually went for the Golduck there, because it's interesting to see that Sebastian adapted his play from Game 1, but Yuri called it so well. And this is one of those play styles I've been talking about a little bit today. Is I really enjoy offensive play, capitalizing on as much as possible. Sebastian finally gets the rain back up, but he's not actually in a position to really capitalize on it. His Swift Swim Sweeper, as they're known, isn't able to come in and deal the damage because it just got knocked out the previous turn.
Right.
So interestingly enough, when Tapu Fini comes back to the field, it's going to be doing even more damage with its Hydro Pumps. He's kind of helped Yuri out and isn't able to benefit from it too much himself.
Yeah, and this Kartana is still hiding behind the substitute, which is exactly where it wants to be. Politoed has to protect this turn, can't take a Thunderbolt from that Tapu Koko. The Bloom Doom coming out from Kartana does not care about that protect.
Not at all. And Bloom Doom, the choice of item on Kartana in this case, one of those tough decisions that many trainers face as they prepare for the Pokemon Video Game World Championships. Bloom Doom is going to be heading towards that Politoed, so the protect will keep it around for a little bit, but it's also going to take a whole lot of damage. 40% of its health removed.
That would have been almost 2 health bars.
It really, really is. And Thunderbolt heading towards Buzzwole.
Good amount of damage.
Not enough, though, and that's an indication of the item on Buzzwole here.
All right, well, the Bulldoze coming out will be able to pick up the KO onto Tapu Koko. Buzzwole really needs this substitute to go down, and it does. So Kartana is no longer protected by the substitute after that Bulldoze.
I do think that getting rid of the substitute isn't the biggest thing here, though.
Beast boost.
It gets the attack boost, but it needs an opportunity to actually use it. And that's going to be a real problem with something like the Tapu Fini with the rain in play. That is exactly what Yuri decides to bring in here.
Well, the water move that we have seen is Hydro Pump, so it is possible that it could miss. Buzzwole has now completed its reps and has that attack boost, so will be very scary if that Kartana or Tapu Fini can't get through it right now.
Yeah, and Tapu Fini here is going to need to hit a Hydro Pump, I think, while Kartana just deals with the Politoed.
Politoed tried to go for a double protect, didn't get it. The Hydro Pump will miss. Kartana picks up the KO with the Leaf Blade onto Politoed, a critical hit for good measure here. Now Buzzwole, let's see if all of its time at the gym has paid off. Poison Jab.
That's
just
really
going for
big.
the Tapu Fini here. Picks up a lot of damage, not enough.
No, falling short, giving Yuri another chance to hit it with the Hydro Pump. And even if he doesn't Hydro Pump it, Kartana's going to be able to attack it with a Beast Boost in its attack stat. So this game was very safe for Yuri. Ever since that turn 1 Soak and Thunderbolt combo onto the Muck, I do think he's just been in the driving seat all game. I love seeing people go aggressive on turn 1 and getting the benefit from it. It's always a smart play, and it really ups the pace of these games, putting your opponent under pressure.
Yep, exactly. And you see the joy on Yuri's face there. He is now 4-0 moving into round 5 of Swiss. He just needs one more win to guarantee himself a place in the top cut bracket here at Worlds. Really strong showing from him there. Obviously, we take a look at his team on a surface level. It seems pretty standard, but all of the tricks that Yuri showed really came through in this game. That soak in game 2 was huge to pick up those early wins.
Yeah, and that's one of those adaptations I was talking about. When you play the team all year, you're able to learn the ins and outs of it.